we are talking contracts and brokerage agreements. And net listing back under the national content, a listing agreement like that must be in writing. Must be in writing. Okay. And those agreements cannot be assigned, sold, or transferred to another broker without the consent of the seller. Okay. And upon termination of that agreement, the broker shall stop promoting the property. Here's a couple of other things that I wanted to review for you. Is this talks about what needs to be included in a listing agreement, either for the sale or lease of a property. So you're working for either a seller or a landlord. It says that those relationships start on the date of the brokerage agreement and continue either until completion or performance. So again, I'm back to that question that we talked about, I think 2 or 3 times during the national content of when is your first opportunity to end an agency relationship? And the answer is, best answer is completion, which means you had a sale, you fulfilled your duties of the contract. Another item that I want to point out is anything that you might learn about a client or a seller with this brokerage agreement, you remain confidential on that forever. So let's say I have a listing. I learned that this seller owes nothing on the property. They've got full equity. They've got all the wiggle room to negotiate, so to speak. The listing agent, and then I now have a buyer that wants to see it. I cannot share their mortgage balance now with my buyer. I can only share pertinent facts such as material adverse facts about the property. The rest remains confidential. And then the last thing I like to point out is underneath this distribution of executed instruments. This says that if someone signs a copy of it or signs something, they need a copy of it, is what I'm trying to say. If they sign it, they need a copy of it. So a seller signs a listing agreement, not the buyer. So the seller needs a copy of it. A purchase agreement, both the buyer and seller sign. So they each need a copy of it. The seller disclosure, buyer and seller both sign that one. They each need a copy of it. And then the agency agreements that they sign, those are individual with the brokerage. So they just need a copy, either the buyer side or the seller side. They don't need each other. So again, they sign it, they deserve a copy of it.